A very good evening, Team Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And this evening, let us take a look on another prophecy about Zimbabwe. What is going to happen in the nation of Zimbabwe? It's good for the intercessors, it's good for the people of Zimbabwe to know the mind of God and to know what the word of God has been saying about Zimbabwe. This is Prophet Peter Wellington, and he's here with yet another prophecy. Let us get straight to the prophecy, then we talk after that.
I want to say something prior to the time and the season we have entered as Zimbabweans, particularly those who are followers of prophetic messages and those who are interceding for the nation of Zimbabwe. Now, as we've entered in the second quarter, I wanted to speak about this word that I saw where I was being reviewed of these stones, which are always being reflected on the currencies that is always being produced in the nation of Zimbabwe. Those are three heavy stones which are found in Epworth. Now, in the vision that I had last time, I was being told about the blood guilty and the blood sacrifices that were being done by the ruling party spiritually for them to remain in power. Now, listen, I was being told that as long as those three stones remain in balance, it is a sign to the ruling party, because some people that disappear, some people that are slaughtered, some people who are killed without justice, some of the blood is being used as sacrifice to ensure that those stones remain as a symbol of unity, as a symbol of the power that is being possessed by the ruling party. Remember, Zimbabwe is a spirit, and the ruling party is also using certain spirits. That is why you see they give so much regard to traditional powers, diviners, and divination, because this is the source of their power. But the good news that I have, that as I was interceding, I was shown those stones falling down, a sign that there is a crumbling, a sign that there is a shaking, a sign that there is something big that is about to happen in the nation of Zimbabwe. Remember, Zimbabweans, it's not a time for us to begin to lament. It's not a time for us to begin to despair again, because our season has come. I've prophesied about the 3 months in which we are supposed to intercede about, so we can be ushered into the trajectory to the new Zimbabwe. I can tell you, if the ruling party has been powerful before, if the ruling party has been extraordinary before, I can tell you this is the hour where there is going to be attenuation, where there are going to be fragrances, where there are going to be disputes that have never been recorded in the history of politics in the nation of Zimbabwe. And why is God doing this? Because the hour to free Zimbabwe is come. Why is God allowing this to happen? Because the hour for the liberation of Zimbabwe is about to come. So, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself. I saw those stones falling down. And what it means is not say that the 3 stones in Epworth are going to go down. It simply means to say what used to be a solidified force and a force of oppression for the lives of many is about to be brought down. And who is doing that? It's not by might, it's not by power, but it's by the Spirit of the living God. Zimbabweans is in the heart of God. For a long time, this independence was bad. For the long time, this independence was not being given to many. But I can tell you, as we continue to pray together, I see those stones falling down, and the Lord of might shall raise a better and a greater Zimbabwe. Meet me, the voice of the Holy Nation, even on the 24th, 25th, and 20th, as we intercede for the nation of Zimbabwe.
So this is the prophecy from Prophet Peter Wellington, and he has explained what is going to happen. So the 3 stones which he's talking about, they signify some sacrifices which have been made by the people who are in leadership. For example, they in the past used Mbianehanda, they've been used all these symbols as so as to signify the power and authority which they perceive to have over Zimbabwe. So these are spiritual matters. I have been talking to the people of Zimbabwe to say there are leaders in Zimbabwe who belong to ZANU PF who go to a dam which is in Epworth. They get into at that dam, they get into some canoes and they go in the middle of that dam. They do rituals in that place. And if you tell the people of Zimbabwe that such things are happening, a lot will not believe you because they will need evidence that these are the leaders. So you see, these are people who will leave their security outside and they will go with a sangoma in the middle of that dam in Epworth, where they will be doing some rituals, all sorts of things are happening there. And you wonder why they love that area so much. It's because they get their power in ways which are difficult to understand. This is how they survive. So at a certain point in time, we have to agree that we need to make sure that we continue to pray for the nation of Zimbabwe, such that these altars which are protecting them, they fall. The only way Zimbabwe is going to succeed is when the altars fall. We have talked about the altars which have been built in the city center there. We need those altars to be taken down. That is the only way Zimbabwe will succeed. You know, sometimes we do not hate our ancestors or the spirit mediums of Zimbabwe. But when the spirit mediums are hijacked by evil forces, which are now being used and being worshipped, when you see leaders go to worship these spirit mediums, then it becomes a problem. So personally, I agree with Prophet Peter Wellington, because he has said some prophecies, he has given some prophecies. The majority of them, we have seen them being fulfilled as for the nation of Zimbabwe. So far, every prophecy he gave about the issues, the elections and everything else, they passed. So we need to continue to pray as the people of Zimbabwe, because God gives us men. Sometimes he gives us men who are not even popular to talk to us about certain activities. So you see that it's just that the people of Zimbabwe, sometimes we don't take our dreams seriously. A lot of people, you even dream about things happening, but sometimes you fail to comprehend because we just take it for granted. So you know, when Robert Mugabe was removed, there are so many people who had dreams about the removal of Robert Mugabe, but they were given these dreams in different forms. But if you put everything together, there was one interpretation, the fall of Robert Mugabe. So the coming of Emmerson Mnangagwa was not a surprise during that particular moment. It came as something which the people of Zimbabwe knew that this was going to happen. But because of something, it was very difficult to actually ascertain how it was going to happen. And the end of Emmerson Mnangagwa is something which has been known spiritually by a lot of people, but it's a matter of failing to understand the time frames of things. That is the reason why we need to continue to watch these prophecies, continue to pray for the nation of Zimbabwe. So one of the key takeaways from this prophecy is that he clearly said it doesn't mean the physical falling of the stones in Epworth, but this means the collapse of a government. This is a spiritual event happening, which means the collapse of the authority in Zimbabwe. And that will mark the new beginning. We are already in the new season. As I am telling you right now, we are already in the new season. I said earlier, the coming back of Nelson Chamisa marked the beginning of a new chapter in the nation of Zimbabwe. And we need to continue to take a look onto these prophecies. If you get time, Team Zimbabwe, go to Prophet Peter Wellington and you understand the direction of this nation. You will see these prophecies, they are there. They have been there since 2019. He has been speaking about the issues of Zimbabwe, and he correctly prophesied what was going to happen. The time is getting near. The time is coming where the people of Zimbabwe will celebrate. The time is coming where the people of Zimbabwe will wipe their tears. where the people of Zimbabwe will be proud about their nation, where the people of Zimbabwe will have a surplus in their pockets, where the people of Zimbabwe will not cry simply because they will not go hungry, where the people of Zimbabwe will do farming, will do agriculture, will do businesses, will do all sorts of things, and they will be happy. LP, thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for the comment. Thomas, thank you very much, my brother, for coming, and thank you very much for this comment. And you know, as a people, we need to get to a point where things start to happen in a different way. We have been under oppression for a very long time. We have been under the leadership of this government for a very long time, but it's time for change. Who knew that Robert Mugabe was going to be humiliated? Only the people who were hearing the Spirit of God knew about the fall of Robert Mugabe. And the rest of the people were saying it will never happen. But what happened? Robert Mugabe fell. Who removed Robert Mugabe? The most trusted lieutenant of Robert Mugabe, who protected him in 2008, is the one who removed Robert Mugabe. So you can actually see that the military which Robert Mugabe relied upon was the one which removed him. So Esther, thank you very much. She says, keep on praying for our country. Thank you very much for coming. So Team Zimbabwe, I gave you the prophecy. I don't want to take much of your time. For those who came late, please revisit the beginning of this video. We placed the prophecy right there, and you'll be able to hear about it. So it is what it is, Team Zimbabwe. I love you all. Thank you very much for coming. Please keep on subscribing, commenting, and sharing. The more you like our videos, the more they are shown to as many people as possible. We are in that season of change. We need to talk regularly about change in the nation of Zimbabwe, and change is coming. Change is coming. Change is coming. Let us continue to trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord. Continue to pray. Pray without ceasing. That is the only weapon which we have at this point in time. And the enemy is going to fall. Nothing lasts forever. The day is coming for this regime to fall. It is falling. When you see things like this happening, what is happening? When you see them bragging about corruption, when you see the president himself walking around with a very corrupt person like Wicknell, then you have to know that the day has come. Starlink, somebody any connection, they've put themselves within so that they milk the people of Zimbabwe, so that they make money out of it, is because the time is here and final exposés are happening. Let us continue to pray for the nation of Zimbabwe. Change is coming.